The doctor jabbed a probe into the infant's foot, then inserted it into a genetic testing device to analyze the collected blood. Moments later, the father heard the devastating result. His son was classified as genetically inferior, carrying multiple defective genes and a congenital heart condition. The boy would likely live no more than 30 years. The once anxious father's expression instantly hardened, refusing even to look at his son again. Only the mother's eyes remained full of hope, but reality proved because his fiancée died at this man's hands. Earlier that day, after finishing work, the killer had spotted a woman with a flat tire. He approached, offering help, but she refused. Noticing they were alone, he calmly walked back to his van. In the darkness, the woman trembled as she turned on her car lights. Suddenly, the killer began smashing her window with a metal pipe. Seeing the glass shatter, she scrambled to the passenger side to escape, forgetting she'd parked against a fence, the wire barrier cutting off any chance of survival. The killer climbed into the car and subdued her. As she screamed, his eyes fixed on the pipe in his hand. He then dragged her unconscious body back to his garden. After stripping the woman's clothes, the killer selected a suitable weapon from his collection. Sensing her impending death, the woman told him she was pregnant. Hearing this, the killer hesitated for barely 3 seconds before swinging his blade anyway. After finishing, he sang while washing down the area, not noticing the woman's wedding ring washing into the drain. The woman's fiancé was an elite special agent. The next day, a young boy found a human ear by the river. Police quickly arrived at the scene, searching until nightfall when they finally discovered the woman's severed head. Upon learning his pregnant fiancée had been dismembered, John was devastated. He silently vowed the killer would pay dearly. To fulfill his revenge, John first resigned from the police force. Using his connections, he identified several suspects and investigated each one, eventually focusing on a disheveled man. John quickly tracked down the killer's hometown. Following directions from the man's parents, John found the killer's garden. After searching thoroughly, he discovered the killer's hidden chamber. In the drain's crevice, John spotted the ring he had given his fiancée. He decided to wait there for the killer's return. Meanwhile, the killer had targeted another female student. But just as he was about to attack, John appeared, interrupting his plans. The killer grabbed his sickle and charged at John in rage. Against an elite agent, the killer stood no chance. John knocked him unconscious with just a few moves. But John, to humor's horror, Mark tried to place a dead cat into the distillation device. When nothing was extracted, the old man berated him, explaining that animal bodies couldn't yield fragrances. Hearing this, Mark's belief system collapsed. He fainted on the spot and took to his bed, with even doctors unable to help him. On his deathbed, Mark recalled the young girl's scent. In a final question to the old perfumer, he asked if there was any way to preserve a young woman's fragrance. The perfumer mentioned that a certain fat method might work. Upon hearing